Good morning. How are you this morning? Um, our live is going to be a little bit different this morning. I'm in my kitchen, um, and we're going to make something. You notice that the title is a little weird, Granola of Hope. Well, I wanted to share with you while we are preparing to make granola, something that I read this morning that was very interesting. I'm reading. I was just became curious to find out what the Apostle Paul said as he opened his greeting on all of his letters. And it was funny because I didn't really get to all of them. I got stuck on First Timothy. Um, it's something that a lot of people in our culture today, they think, well, there's this thing about having rules and regulations and commandments, and all of this is from the past, and it should be left in the past. But Paul says to Timothy something that really got me thinking. 1 Timothy 1 verse 5 says, "Now the end of the commandment is charity, out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and a faith unfeigned." So it's saying that the whole point of the commandments is love. The way love is practical. That's what charity is. It's practical love. And it says from a pure heart and a good conscience and from faith that's not fake, unfeigned. So I wanted to share that with you this morning. Go to your Bibles and read the beginning of First Timothy. I underlined a whole bunch of other things as well. A little further down, it says the commandments are for those that break them. Because if you're not breaking the commandments, then you don't need to be shown that you're wrong, because you're not. But we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So just encourage you to read that first chapter of Timothy. While you think of those things, I wanted to show you something. You know, a lot of times we go to the store and we buy this breakfast food called granola. And I'm sure that a lot of you already know how to make granola, but granola is really very simple. It can actually be made out of 2 or 3 ingredients. Your main ingredient is oat flakes, and the oats are something that are I don't know how I'm going to get you to see that. Let me see if you can see that now. Okay, got too much light on here for you to actually see the grain. You can see it like that. Okay. So your oats are a very interesting grain. They have, as most grains do in their whole state, they have 2 different kinds of fibers: the soluble fiber and the insoluble fiber. Okay, the soluble fiber is fiber that works on your intestines and helps them to stay healthy, moving along the way they're supposed to. And the insoluble fiber does something very similar, but it cleans the inside of your blood vessels and arteries and things. And so we need both of those kinds of fiber. Oats, that's why they say all over the place that oats are heart healthy, because of the second kind of fiber, the soluble fiber that goes in and actually cleans out your blood vessels. What is it taking out? Very simply, is helping to remove plaque. Plaque is cholesterol that's stuck, and so it's assisting in that. So oats are very healthy. However, I would say granola, normally granola that you buy in the store isn't. What? Wait a minute. Granola is made from oats, but a lot of the time the granolas that you buy in the store are extremely high in sugar. So the fibers that are in the granola really can't protect you from that amount of sugar. They also normally add things to it like puffed foods that really don't have a lot of nutritional value. However, making granola at home is a very simple task, and normally it takes like 5 or 10 minutes to put it together if you have all the ingredients. Okay, now there's something else. When you're making granola, you don't have to be stuck in a rut. As with all other recipes that you can make with your oats, your only limitation on variety and flavor is your personal inability to imagine something new. So your imagination is your limit, really, with that. And so basic granola, what you want is oats and a little bit of water, okay, because you need to moisten it down. And then you can make a choice. If you or anybody that you know has a problem with diabetes or high blood pressure or any excessive weight, any specific health problems, you can modify your recipe accordingly, and it still be something extremely delicious that can be eaten as a quick breakfast. Because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So let's get into this. What you want, first of all, is oats, okay? And you don't need to make a small batch. You can if you want to, but granola keeps very well in where you can use something as simple as a canning jar with a good lid. You can keep it in there, and if you keep it closed tight, it stays fresh. So you can make enough for a month if you'd like. In my family, that would be too much to make at one time. But so here is my oats. As you can tell, I don't buy them in the store because we use a lot more, so we get a few extra. We're gonna start out, and one thing that you'll notice with my cooking sometimes is I don't have this little paper next to me. I can give you a basic recipe, 4 cups of oats. You're going to, if you're making them for someone that does not have problems with their blood pressure, you can put half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt in that mixture. If you want to sweeten it, you have hundreds of options, literally. I am going to use applesauce. This is homemade. I just cooked up a few apples and put them in the blender, instant applesauce. So this right here is going to be 2 cups of applesauce that I'm going to mix in to that. Okay, I just poured it on top just like that. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can use coconut. This right here is coconut flour. I don't like it as well as the other, but my other coconuts put away. I need to get some more out. So you're going to put about half a cup of coconut in this side of the recipe. Now you're saying coconut it's got saturated fat in it. That is absolutely true. But unless you have heart disease or some other ailment of the cardiovascular system, that fat is not going to be detrimental to your health because it is saturated naturally, and it is not an animal fat, it's a vegetable fat. There's very few fat sources in the vegetable kingdom that are saturated. It is not unsafe to use them. The only problem that you really will have with that is if you have heart disease, then that can increase your cholesterol and triglycerides. Okay, you can add any kinds of seeds or nuts. These right here are sunflower seeds. I'm sorry. I'm going to put about half a cup of those. And what you're doing with this, the coconut has very little protein, has a lot of fat, but it's got a lot of other nutrients. It's very, very high in fiber. Your sunflower seeds or any other seeds or nuts are also going to contain a large amount of amino acids that is protein. Okay. They don't contain all 8 essential amino acids, but when you're dealing with a whole grain like oats, and then you're combining it with a protein source such as a bean or a seed or a nut, then you're going to have all the right amount of all 8 essential amino acids. Therefore, I don't need to add a protein to this meal. I can have this and some fruit, and I have carbohydrate, protein, and my vitamin source. So that makes it a complete meal. And if you have it already mixed up and ready, then all you have to do is just grab it and have your breakfast. Okay, so we put a little salt, we put some applesauce, coconut, sunflower seeds. You can put nuts if you like. I like to kind of stay simple on my mixtures. I don't like to mix 3 or 4 different kinds of seeds and nuts together because I think our body needs variety, not all in the same meal. And so I would prefer making 3 or 4 different kinds of granola. So today I can have one protein, tomorrow I can have the next. And I like to do it that way. So we're going to get a little bit of water. Now, I will tell you that most granola has a lot of fat in it as well. The reason for that is because just poured it in there. I'm going to get a spoon and we're going to mix this up so you can see the right consistency. Okay. What you want is you want it to be wet enough to be kind of heavy. And then once you mix that like that, you're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes. The oats will soften and soak up the liquid, and it will be a lot drier. Once you finish that, then what you do is you spread it out on a cookie sheet and put it in the oven. Start out at about 300 degrees. Do 20 minutes at 300 degrees, and then you turn it down as low as you want to. If you have time, a lower temperature will dry it out and make it crisper, much faster with less risk of burning. And that is one thing that I have some problems with. So I actually like to toast it like that for about 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and then put it in my food dehydrator, because then I can forget it and we will still have granola tomorrow. So I just wanted to share that recipe with you. There are modifications if you are diabetic. The applesauce sweetened is awesome because the sweet comes from fruit. It will be very lightly sweet. And so you can mix that then with a fruit when you eat it, so that you don't feel like that it's not sweet enough. One thing that we need to do as we go on this lifestyle change towards not using so much sugar or taking it out of our diet completely is reducing the sweetness of certain things and being able to control it in your bowl. Okay. So I like making granola very lightly sweet and then modifying it, because my sweet taste is much different than that of my husband. And I can, in his bowl, I can put a little extra honey or something to sweeten it to his taste, so that I can slowly bring that down. Not that I'm better than him, of course not. It's just that if I eat something that's too sweet, I just can't eat it. So we make it in a way that everybody can enjoy it as well. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show you today. If you have high blood pressure, you can do it without the salt. The taste of sweet will be a little bit less, but it's a doable thing. You can make it with no sweetener whatsoever. And this version, I actually put no fat, other than no free fat, no oils in it. The oil serves actually to make the granola more tender and crunchy in a way that we're kind of used to. So this granola is going to be a little harder, and it'll make you chew a little bit more, which is good because it actually makes you eat less that way as well. So if oil isn't a problem for you, if you want to use a little bit of oil, you would put about 3 tablespoons of natural oil. I use extra virgin olive oil sometimes. But if you toast it very well and you have coconut in there, the oil come out of the coconut as it's being toasted in the oven, and it will actually make the granola tender as well. So that way you didn't use any free oils. It's coming from a natural source there. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and be encouraged that the Lord loves you with all of his heart, mind, soul, and strength, and he calls you to do the same.